So if the moon is approximately 50 feet, I think, 30 to 50 feet from here, this would be, to this scale, a mile away. Show us where the International Space Station is, Hubble, etc.
Okay. So if the Earth were actually this size, the International Space Station would be orbiting about a half an inch above the surface. And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix Baumgartner. He would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't. It's fine. He wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. Right. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, "Wow, he's in space. Look at that." No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth if you are 2 millimeters above this beach ball. You just don't.
So if the moon is approximately 50 feet, I think, 30 to 50 feet from here, this would be, to this scale, a mile away. Show us where the International Space Station is, Hubble, etc.
Okay. So if the Earth were actually this size, the International Space Station would be orbiting about a half an inch above the surface. And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, what's his name? Felix Baumgartner. He would have been about 2 millimeters above the surface of this globe. That's his edge of space jump. Now, you know, I don't. It's.
Perhaps you've heard, let's say, an impossible story or a rumor of men who came from the sky or from other worlds.
There are no other worlds.
The stars.
Lights shining through.
What's going on?
Excuse me, Elmo. I'm coming through. I'm building something.
A telly? Wow. A telly.
Wait, I'm in the middle of something here. Oh, look it. I'm finished. Look what I built, Elmo.
Okay.
Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. Perfection. Gotta go, Elmo. Bye.
Bye, Telly. Boy, terrific triangle building, Telly.
It's the world's most well-known secret society. Rich with symbols and ritual, it's a source of legends, parodies.
Who controls the British Crown
system and the good old boy network to be able to get away with murder. And I mean murder.
Welcome to the world of Freemasonry.
How can Elmo find out more? What could that be?
Oh, I emailed Eric Dubay today because I wanted to actually talk about that flat earth stuff. I'm not going to get into it again, but just one quick point. People were talking about the spin of the rotation of the Earth and how it affects the moon. Okay, people are using that as proof that the Earth is round and spinning. They don't have to do that with a plane, though?
Travel the world and the seven seas. Sweet dreams are made of these.
Wonderful. The world's round, why is a frozen pond flat?
Business first, flat earthers licking their wounds.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you didn't.
was...
No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was...
didn't. No, you didn't.
And we watched you guys land on the moon,
No,
which
you
was...
didn't. No, you didn't. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw.
Very hazy.
How about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Exciting.
Not a bad line. I thought it was a good idea in front of the TV to bounce around and to demonstrate how easy a guy could move around, or a gal could move around on the moon.
Textbooks and reference materials of this country's colleges and schools. So I've come here tonight against the government's will to inform you of the facts that have been kept from you. The government doesn't want you to know.
On the team.
Stop paying attention to that boy when he said the world was flat.
Exactly.
Or when he refused to take the vaccine.
I've got one that can see.
On YouTube.
And on the moon.
I'm suppressing the fact that my Celtics lost to your Bulls.
Take a look at him. Bam. Wow. Bam. Wake your ass up past you. Bam. That's what you gotta understand. Bam. That's who they worship. Bam. Oh, people can't see this is beyond me. Bam. It's a ritual. Bam. You wanna see more? Bam. There you go right here. Bam. 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 Puppet. Bam. 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 There you go right there. Bam. 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 Look at this. Bam. Take a look. Bam. To show you that it is 100% Freemason all the way. Bam. Bam. He give you one eye symbol every chance he get. He's a part of the Illuminati secret. Bam. Society. No doubt about it. Bam. Freemason. Hand sign. Hidden hand. Mason sign. That's what it is. Bam. Bam. There you go. All of them legendary Mason. They all do it. Bam. 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 There you go. Your Albert Pipe. All of them. Bam. Bam. You wake up yet? Bam.
Number of expeditions will follow, I think, year after year, bottom of the world, because the government has really become interested.
Because we control the mind. Reality is inside the skull, Winston. We control the laws of nature. The stars are not light years, but a few kilometers away. If we wished, we could blot them out.
There will be a number of expeditions that will follow.
Because we control the mind.
But may I ask you, is there a great difference between the top of the world and the bottom of the world?
Richard E. Byrd.
The North Pole used to be a no man's land, but these are the days when, by buying a ticket on a commercial airliner, you can fly across the North Pole and drink a cocktail at the same on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily.
As it relates to, you're correct, I was very judicious yesterday, very judicious, and you'll see the photo that I did take where Magic was kind enough, generous enough to ask me for a photograph, and in my left hand's the mask, and I took a photo. The rest of the time I wore it, as we all should, not when I had a glass of water or a thing, and I encourage everybody else to do so, and that's it.
I think they should attack the lower classes, first with bombs and rockets, destroying their homes, and then when they run helpless into the streets, mowing them down with machine guns. I know these views are unpopular, but I have never courted popularity.
It's hard to comprehend. Space is fake AF. Space is fake AF. Space is fake AF. Space is fake AF.
You just have a leak, and what you would do is lose air.
Is that real? That's a real site? Yeah, hashtag space is fake.
Okay.
Okay, all right. You think so?
Well, I don't know. You may have a higher standard than I'm used to around here.
Here's the rotunda. It's amazing. It's stirring. It's.
You mean the dome?
Have a cold awakening.
Sure, you don't, sure, yeah. Simple. Where did you get the camera, and where did you get the film, and how did you know what to do? And
Well, I can't really say where we got some of it, but
Ice water, or regular water, or tap water.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you will, look right here. Okay, you know you're on an airplane, and the flight attendant asks you to turn your cell phone on?
They sent us home to watch the show.
Flip, 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 flops, flop, flop, flip, flop, flip, flip, flop, 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 flops. Summer Olympics.
Due to the Writers Guild of America strike, tonight's Late Night with David Letterman will be a rebroadcast of a previously aired program.
It's evil! Don't touch it!
Sherry, I'm glad you're speaking up because I agree with you. I watched the show where you said to Whoopi, you didn't know that the Earth was round.
Right.
And I agree with you. I was in school.
That's a very long time ago. We got her a globe since then.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, I went for a walk the other day on the beach, and it does appear that the world is flat. I'm telling you. I'm saying to myself, she's right. She's right. I mean, really. Everyone acts like they know. Everyone acts like they know better. Yes. You've been. That's right.
Yep, God. But how can you say that this world ain't flat? By Jupiter, you don't get no stupider. You don't get no stupider than that.
Rhythm, repetition, or song.
On the team.
Dad, stop paying attention to that boys when he said the world was flat.
Exactly.
Or when you.
Here's a little song I stole. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. B flatty. Looks like space is having trouble. It won't let NASA turn around Hubble. Don't worry. B flatty.
I agree.
Don't worry. B flatty. Don't worry, B flatty now. Don't worry. B flatty. Don't worry, be flatty. Been to space, just like they said. TV came and took your head. Now don't worry. Be flatty. Someone tell us our space is fake. We may have to litigate, but don't worry. Be flatty.
On the team.
Dad, stop paying attention to that boys when he said the world was flat.
Look at me, I'm flatty. Don't worry. Be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty now. Don't worry. Be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty. Ain't got no proof, got CGI. Ain't got the curve to make you smile, but don't worry. Be flatty. flatty. Cause when you worry, your face will frown. A go others might bring you down. But don't worry, be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty.
That boys when he said the word was flat.
Be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty now. Don't worry, be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty now. Don't worry, be flatty. Don't worry, be flatty now.
I love your face.
Don't worry,
don't bring everybody down like this.
Be flatty.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, be flatty now.
It will soon pass, whatever it is. Don't worry, be happy.
You refused to take the vaccine.
I'm not worried. I'm happy.
I remember my parents waking me up and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. So you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. Because there's no gravity. And I'm a diver, a scuba diver, and when you get down underneath the water, you're floating. And that's just like in space. Until you start to move, and then you make waves or...
Zoe, what do you say?
Thank you.
You are very, very welcome.
I'm sorry, Jay.
I'm sorry. I could see that how that would affect your Christmas.
I made that whole thing up.
What?
I'm sorry. I guess I just wanted to seem interesting. I guess there's a real danger of that on this show.
There's a pressure.
Well, yeah, people come out and they've run out of anecdotes, you know, and they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Man, and they're buying it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
World was flat. Think the world was flat. 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 World was flat. Think the world was flat.
That stuff is.
World was flat. Think the world was flat. Think the world was flat. World was flat. World was flat. Think the world was flat. World was flat. Think the world was flat. World was flat. Think the world was flat. Think the world was flat.
Hard to breathe, but that's alright.
Rocks. Hey, who put that there? Who put that there? Well, the universe put it there. And what do we have to show for it? Rocks and other science.
Relax, take it easy.
Now, boys and girls, who knows what this is?
And there was much rejoicing.
Hard to breathe, but that's alright.
These same space agencies would also be caught many times using technology that is designed to deceive us into believing they are somewhere that they aren't. If this model was made up by the enemy, it would bear the mark of the enemy.
And his number is 600-366.
And if there was some sort of firmament above us, scientists would have detected it, and there would be a cover story made up about what it is. They would probably tell us something crazy like there's a man-made bubble surrounding Earth. We would also have footage of this barrier, along with documents that tell us that it exists.
They're checking out the firmament in this one, 1953 now. In the investigations, two instruments designed by V.G. Fezenkov were used. One of these was a visual photometer of the daytime sky intended for measuring the brightness of the firmament, and derived, get this now, on the assumption of a flat Earth. So the Russians are trying to check out the firmament based on assumptions of a flat Earth in 1957?
And if our world leaders were as evil as they say they are, they might have even tried to blow it up at some point in time.
Thor, launched by a pod-carrying Thor missile. Its yield was 1.4 megatons.
And if Earth wasn't flying through space at hundreds of times faster than the speed of sound, there would be a star in the sky that is stationary and has been throughout history. And if Earth were the stationary center of existence, that would mean there's a loving Father above us, and that for thousands of years, those who have tried to spread truth about Him would have been persecuted. The words that were written in books about Him would be banned in many places. People would be burned for trying to write these books in their own languages. And most importantly, if they were correct, the short-term pleasures of this world and the distractions that leave us feeling empty could be replaced with joy unspeakable that is found in one truth, the truth that sets you free, that is more important than what we live on, but has been hidden in a very crafty way by the evil ones that run this place. And I ask that all of you look up for a change and find that truth and that grace that we do not deserve, that is beyond measure and understanding. Because after all, if they are correct, and they are, then you are a beloved creation of the Most High, and it's time to give Him a chance.
The Earth is flat and stationary, surrounded by a circle of ice that contains all the oceans, from where the sparkly vault of the firmament raises, under which rotate sun and moon in circular orbits very similar to each other. This model, known as the flat Earth, is way far from what the modern man is able to accept. Let's see why. Recently, Obama and Hillary Clinton have talked about flat Earth.
They must have been founding members of the Flat Earth Society.
They are basically the current protagonists of the crew, which for centuries guarantees dominion of the world to a few. They talk about it, avoiding the argument with the satire method.
Isn't flat.
Which is the treatment of mocking and discrediting everyone that questions any official versions.
Gravity.
As always, we will venture into the road that most might define wrong, the new organ 1620. Truth uncovers faster from mistakes than from confusion. The flat Earth argument exploded in 2015, quickly divulging on the web, dragging in researchers and average people. Thomas Kuhn's experiment will show you why in his most famous work, The Structure of the Scientific Revolutions. According to the philosopher, science doesn't progress because of the new discoveries and inventions, but the mutation of the paradigm happens through revolution. Like the social ones, the scientific revolutions are announced by the increasing intolerance in the existing order. In this particular case, scientists feel that the old paradigm has stopped working but can't easily let go of it and rather obstruct research. Scientists from both sides will exhibit accusations of heresy, today called conspiracy, or orthodoxy, negating. Every scientific revolution is not just incompatible, but often unmeasurable with what preceded it. And it's the unmeasurableness that explains why passing from a paradigm to another can't happen gradually, nor can it come from logic or from a neutral experience. It has to happen all at once, in a revolution. What we see, sure enough, depends both on what we look at and what the previous visual concept experience taught us to see. Our generations for centuries have the omnipresent spinning ball concept impressed as the only possibility for us to exist. Anything that is not included in this paradigm is out of any chance, out of society, of logic, of the world. Yet, the globalist elite is pleased to reveal the flat Earth model. Freemasons have an obligation to truth that they adhere throughout symbols and messages disseminated everywhere. In movies, on the web, on the Illuminati card, under Ground Zero, and in the United Nations logo, have a common denominator, as common is the vector in all their logos. Every image, testimony, experiment, information, exploration and scientific hypothesis about Earth and what surrounds it is born or created here under the vector's protection at the expense of the worldwide contributor. We will complete this prefix with the explanation of Robert Simon, the NASA employee that created the last blue marble model we have available.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it's a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green. There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit. It is Photoshop. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
Then
there was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere. It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water. Just what I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is Photoshop, but it has to be. It is Photoshop. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be. It is Photoshop, but it has to be.
So the image of Earth that we have available is reconstructed, altered, composited, in a precise word, fake. What does it take to create fake digitals when you have the best technology on hands? All it takes is a blue screen or a zero-gravity plane, and you're on. Here's what they purposely show you from the camera that is filming ex-President Bush's visit at NASA. A freshly modified image and a chromatic screen. The chromatic screen is an instrument used to substitute the color of the background with any scenarios. In CGI, computer-generated image, you can access the the ISS that isn't there. The trick consists of letting air bubbles float. Here is the game, and here's the trick. They show it to us themselves. Or we can take a walk on space. Let's take the Chinese, and we have bubbles here too, traveling undisturbed. Could they be in an exercise swimming pool? You can create a puppet out of nowhere when the insolence has no limit, or show the hidden side of the moon when the bad taste is without shame. All rigorously modified, digitalized, fake. Why not show authentic pictures? Probably because they don't exist. Till this day, it is not possible to have an authentic picture of Earth. We can just see the comparison of the sizes they show us to understand they don't even have the same reference. Supposedly, a scientist took this picture in space, but all you have to do is raise a little the luminosity and we find out the trick. A rectangular cut, this image has been added. Whichever interpretation you want to give to the vector comes from the Space Agency logos. Scientists that operate there act confirmed to each other, like scoundrels of a grotesque Masonic farce, each one with a role. Christopher Ricci, Tina Shampoo, and an evolution shows herself with a chemtrail normalizing number. Adam Stelzner plays the role of the leader on Mars Attack, where we seem to find a little of all. Bones, Grand Mars level, rats, unless that they are not, very likely, images tinted red, photoshopped, fake. Surely not published by mistake, but voluntarily used as a stress test for our minds that in front of such an obvious fake perpetrated from our authorities, we will be increasingly ready to accept it. Cognitive dissonance. And Obama, who wants to achieve technologies to overpass the radioactive Van Allen belt and send man for the first time past the lower orbit. But wait, didn't the United States already done this mission 50 years ago? Landing on the moon with a lamp cam and foil, kept all together by tape? This material is so insolently fake. Either they are crazy creating this staged reality, or we are dumb believing it. Both. The information monopoly is well coordinated with a world of school, science, politics, and is miraculously able to insinuate contradictions so big in the perception of reality that almost no one dares to look at them. Eric Kobler says, The human being is an information system with a consequence that can be healed through information. This is what we are trying to do now, talking about the shape of Earth. Here's everything that doesn't add up in the current spherical model. Let's try to explain it to a child that asks, why don't the people in the South Pole fall off? Because gravity keeps them to the ground, answers the school teacher. And from that day the child will want nothing more to know of this ancient intuition, original, sacred doubt. If he tried in adult age, he would be invaded with such a quantity of formulas and mathematical equations to construct forever. The force of gravity is a theory, not reality. What passes for law of gravity can be explained with the concepts of density and buoyancy. An object denser than air will fall towards the floor. One less dense will tend to float. Let's hear what Einstein says about Nikola Tesla, one of the greatest and noble geniuses of all times.
How does it feel to be the smartest person on Earth? Well, you should ask Nikola Tesla about that.
Now let's hear what Tesla says about gravity.
The theory of relativity wraps all these errors and fallacies and clothes them in magnificent mathematical garb, which fascinates, dazzles, and makes people blind to the underlying errors. The theory is like a beggar clothed in purple, whom ignorant people take for a king. Its exponents are very brilliant men rather than scientists, but they are metaphysicists.
Researcher Anthony Pash wrote, what has errantly labeled as gravity are actually magnetic force lines. And in fact, the electromagnetic universe as described by Tesla and occulted by the theory of gravity is what they're actually working on at CERN. But what they tell us is that the force of attraction should push us towards the nucleus of Earth. But has ever seen this nucleus? When the maximum perforation depth achieved by man is barely almost 8 miles, just the depth of Earth crust. So what are they talking about? The nucleus, for what they can show us, doesn't exist. Surely, in a subverted paradigm when the law of gravity will have to disappear, scientists will adapt to other laws, maybe to the density ones, or the electromagnetic ones, and the kids will be able to finally see the upside-down man fall off. Because the law of gravity is just the theoretic instrument to justify the impossible roundness of the terrestrial surface and hide the true physiognomy of the universe. Dear child, they told you that the Earth is spherical. Okay, can you see it? Who knows? Surely not looking at the horizon. Nor from the window of a plane. Or from an amateur high-altitude balloon. As you can see, in all these cases, Earth is evidently flat. Yeah, sure. You might see it in an altered images from NASA, but we analyze this in the prefix. They are artifact, CGI, or filmed with a deforming fish island. Here's NASA's globe, rotating with motionless clouds. This is the time-lapse of the terrestrial lights, with a lot of special effects on lights. Storms, aurora borealis, ridiculous.
searching for "The Earth is Flat" on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the Earth is not.
If the world's round, why is a frozen pond flat?
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system. We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go. There's no place to throw your trash.
Yeah, change the world.
I guess our slogan is catching on, huh?
Yeah, change the world.
Wait, your people think the world is round?
NASA has been busted left, right, upside down, everywhere.
Just all foreign parts, isn't it? Anyway, we thought we'd just show you that it's a totally arbitrary thing, and in fact, if the map of the world was turned the other way around, you'd find that...
So you're going to be remembered in history for your Apollo 11 landing, the first lunar landing. Is there anything else that you want to be remembered for, that you want a legacy for, that we're not going to teach children in school, or anything you want to have students know about you?
Well, I have a license plate, California, Florida, Mars guy, and some people may not like it, but I'd like to be Mars guy #1. That's going to be a big, big smash.
How big?
Big.
You know. Sure. Well, as soon as Mr. Costello gets here, I'll bring it down to you. That's fine. It's okay. Oh, by the way. What? You know that lodge I belong to, the Fraternal Order of Mud Turtles? Oh, yes. Well, they're having their national convention here next week, and I'm on the committee. Now, they asked me if I could get a couple of judges for the bathing beauty contest. It's an annual affair, you know, and I thought maybe that you two boys might help me out. But, Mr. Fields, we don't belong to your lodge. That's just it. Members of the lodge can't be judges, must be impartial outsiders. Well, and we're your boys. I knew I could depend on you. Sure. The contest will take place next Saturday. Okay, we'll be there. Good. Wait a minute. We ought to be able to work this thing out. What do you mean? Especially if you and Costello would like to do me a little favor. Why, for you, anything, Mr. Fields, anything at all. You know, just name it. My niece, she's going to enter this mud turtle bathing beauty contest, and since you and Costello are going to be the judges, I thought maybe... Oh, I see. Yes. Hmm? I imagine. I imagine. We understand each other? That will take care of everything? Right. Well, congratulations, Miss Mud Turtle of 1950. All right, everything's lovely. Everything. All right, everything's lovely. Everything's fine. All right, everything's lovely. Everything. It's all taken care of. Have a good night.
Is the Earth flat or round? It's round. Okay, now let's see. How do we go about proving that? Go to the seashore. Go to a seashore and figure out why you can't, if you live on the East Coast, figure out why you can't see Spain from the East Coast of North America. It looks like you might have a St. Louis hat on. I'm not sure. Just go to the middle of the Mississippi River and look south. Why can't you see the Louisiana? Why can't you see New Orleans? What's the problem? Oh, and then climb a tower.
Still water is always level.
And you'll see a little farther, but you will not see to the other side of the Earth, places we know to exist.
If you want to get creative, use a fisheye lens. It's ultra-wide and will give a spherical effect in your images, allowing you to see everything directly in front, below, above, and to the sides of your camera. And now we understand a fisheye lens. It's ultra-wide and will give a spherical effect in your images. It's ultra-wide and will give a spherical effect in your images.
It's ultra-wide and will give a spherical effect in your images.
That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat. That stuff is flat.
Release.
If you're scared, walk away. 'Cause there's a need to feel ashamed.
Is that
fake news.
Space is a war-fighting domain.
Fake news.
Just like the land, air, and sea.
The globe, so that's heads. Fake news.
We may even have a
Space Force.
Curvature. Where? The curvature. Where is the curvature?
Space Force. Space Force.
Space Force.
Oh, that fake news.
Space Force.
Curvature. Where? The curvature. Where is the curvature?
Fake news. The globe, so that's heads.
Space Force.
Going through some change. That's impossible.
Space Force. Space Force. Space Force. The world is flat. Space Force. The world is flat. Space Force. The world is flat. Space Force. The world is flat.
Fake news. Space Force, because we're spending a lot.
Billions of dollars.
Space Force.
World is flat, or word
Space
is flat,
Force,
200, please.
because we're spending a lot.
Yes.
Billions of dollars.
Space Force.
Animation.
They know, they understand.
Animation.
Billions of dollars.
Yes.
So think of that. Space Force, because we're spending a lot, and we have a lot of private money coming in. Tremendous. You saw what happened the other day. Tremendous success.
Space is a war-fighting domain. Just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a Space Force. Develop another one. Space Force. We have the Air Force, lots of Space Force.
Going to space. Going to space.
Space Force.
We're going to
Space
have
Force.
the
Space
Space
Force.
Force, because it's a whole
Space Force.
Space
Space
Force.
Force. Space Force.
Space Force.
Space Force. Space Force. Space Force. Does that make sense? We're gonna have a Space Force. Space is a war-fighting domain. Just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a Space Force. Develop another one. Space Force. We have the Air Force, lots of Space Force.
Space Force. Space Force.
Going to space. Going to space.
Space Force.
We're going to
Space
have
Force.
the
Space
Space
Force.
Force, because it's a whole
Space Force. Space Force. Space Force.
Space Force.
Say it mutates.
He says this mutated virus, could a mutation
change the mutation or not?
fine, but Dr. Pedro Piedra is Piedra. Piedra says no.
We all feel the same. Where's your passion? Where's your
All right, now, the whole road is looking now. I'm going over.
Chopper away. Speed 725.
Showing Felix in a stable descent. And Felix is back to her safely, the new world record holder.
I don't want to fool you here. Last month, for the first time since 1972, NASA released a blue marble, a single snapshot of the Earth taken from outer space. And so much has changed in the decades between that first picture and the second.
In 2002, Blue Marble 2.0, NASA's Rob Simon made this. And it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is, a composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the moderate resolution imaging spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it was a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it has to be.
Then
there was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
And then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked...
Remember me? I'm the one who's looking at you, baby. Remember me? looking at you, baby. I'm doing that.
I will destroy it.
Or so it would have been, if certain modern theories concerning the shape of the world had not proved to be disastrously wrong.
Pleased to welcome you to part 2 of the...
About the same time as the burning of the Reichstag in 1933.
Yeah, right? Yes. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the famous comedy theme of Zany and Madcap.
I'm mad about this country's educational system. You see, there's all kinds of incredible facts that the powers that be have conveniently left out of the...
The earth is flat. The earth is flat. For 100 years so everyone was told we're living on a moving and crazy spinning ball. I opened one day my blind foggy eyes and thought for the moment that this could be all lies. I know the earth is flat. He made it that as I show his image, call it CGI. Nobody has questions and I don't know why. Majority of people told me stay the course. I know it is hard to change what we've been told. Wake up to a brand new world. Heart is now free, my soul not engaged. The world in harmony. The earth is flat.
No way.
And they just start making stuff up.
Yeah.
Like that Neil Armstrong guy. Have you seen him on the talk shows?
Neil Armstrong, you mean the first man to walk on the moon?
Talk about a fish story.
Yeah.
Something like this.
Excuse me. The world is flat because the world is flat.
Forget it.
Forget it. Help us make this place a better place. So that's the
nuts of it right there. So.
Man, come on.
All kidding aside, when this goes national, I get to put it on my resume?
Actually, no.
Because, like, what is it, a guild thing or something? I mean...
You can never tell anyone you did this.
What could they do to me?
This world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network?
Whoa, whoa. Hey there, tough guy. You know, what are you doing? Whoa, whoa.
pear-shaped.
You
You're going to have our... I go away, I'm going to disappear, Tony. You'll never see me again.
Since leaving and re-entering the dome is an ordeal involving strict security...
It's not. It makes sense. It's flat. There's a big wall of ice around it.
Ricky, it's flat with
It's a dome. It's a dome. Actors. Astronauts.
Leave it as flat
You
Earth.
know what? Everybody believes what everyone believes.
Placing that image in flatland. And as the apple were to descend through, slither by flatland, we would generate a four-dimensional hypercube, which is also called a tesseract. I cannot show you a tesseract because I and you are trapped in 3 dimensions and entirely flat in every direction, but with one exception. Unbeknownst to the inhabitants, their 2-dimensional universe is curved into a 3rd physical dimension, maybe into a sphere, but at any rate, into something entirely outside their experience. Just think may actually apply to us. We are 3-dimensional creatures trapped in 3 dimensions. We imagine our universe to be flat in 3 dimensions, but maybe it's curved into a 4th. We can talk about a 4th physical dimension, but we can't experience it. No one can point to the 4th dimension. I mean, there's left, right, and there's forward, back, there's up, down, and there's some other direction simultaneously at right angles to those familiar 3 dimensions.
Got done growing some lettuce, and our Russians were growing onions, so it's an extremely lively environment up here right now. Lots going on.
Well, thank you very much. I know you've got limited time. You've got lots to do up there, but let me ask you one last question. Who's supposed to lots to do up there? But let me ask you lots to do up there. But let me ask you lots to do up there. But let me ask you lots to do up there. But let me ask you lots to do up there. But let me ask you.
I've been working. You've been sleeping. That the Earth is actually flat. So deceived by the Illuminati that the Earth is actually flat. That the Earth is really flat.
Over the flats, the chicks I used to know.
They can't do it. It can't. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. It's all fraud. It's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent.
Example, it's flat, meaning it's at just the right.
They said the world is flat.
Who plays for the Cavaliers? He recently said that he believes the world is flat. Flat Earth theory.
Earth was flat. If you went too far, you would fall off.
That Kansas is, in fact, literally flatter than a pancake. If the Earth was not a ball shape, but was instead a flat disk, like this plate. Flat, and science has been wrong all along. It's a misfact. Flat Earther believed that the Earth was actually flat, and he enforced flat Earth teachings in schools in Zion. He also enforced that belief on really anyone who entered the city. V'lava believed not only that the Earth was flat, but that the sun was only a few thousand miles away from Earth, not 93 million.
No longer on the ball.
Someone just said the Earth is flat? Wow.
I don't follow everybody when it's time to rap. At one time, everybody thought the world was flat.
Unless the world is flat. You say the world is flat.
1 and launch. Here you go. So this world is round story is 100% bullshit. It's total fiction. Yet how
Did our grandparents learn this? We learned this? Our grandchildren are probably going to learn this.
What's your problem?
This takes us into the next generation.
So when Truman dies, we go back to the single channel format, right?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
Some people say you can't go back, but sure you can.
Breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers. There are places to go beyond belief. Those challenges are yours.
You're copies of people out here in the world.
Tubes, some sheep over here.
Shall we play a game?
Longer on the ball. I just had to let it go.
If I say that the world is round and someone else says it's flat, that's worth reporting.
And there's that, unless the word is flat, unless the word is flat, unless the word is flat.
Eden music.
Don't think you did.
I think I did.
Didn't.
Didn't. Thank you so much.
It's called The Snake.
Delle tensioni che minacciano di infliggersi un nuovo colpo alla pace in Ucraina e mettono in discussione la sicurezza.
The Snake. The Snake. Oh, shut up! Silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Sick and tired of the secrets and the lies. It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
With your sexuality,
When I was making love to my old boyfriend, I used to think about women sometimes.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sure he was delighted when you told him, because...
I actually never told him, but I'm sure he's watching now.
Oh, shut up! Silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Je crois que notre génération doit savoir que la bête de l'événement est là. Et elle arrive. La bête de l'événement est là. La bête de l'événement est là. Et elle arrive. Et elle arrive.
Have they tried to mould you in any way, though, if people ask you to do things to change the way you look or speak or behave?
Yeah, one of them tried to mold me into a big triangle shape, and I went, no!
Oh, shut up! Silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Mama didn't tell me that the world is unreal. Imaginary story, lies and unreal. The truth, the lies, and the truth and fairy tale lies don't have a Prince of Wales. I never get told what is real and true. That's why I put truth out of the blue. Never really did. No one really cares what our heart it hurts. This world is nothing This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. Nothing I can feel. Spruce up the bar, come on. This world is a lie. Nothing is real. This world is a lie. There is nothing I can feel. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Yes. Yes, I got dragged into the flat earth rabbit hole and believe the earth is flat. Every single instance where they try to prove the earth is flat or disprove the earth is a globe, the earth being flat, they just don't acknowledge it. They move on to something else. If they get caught on something, remember Aaron had a flat earther Skyped in. And I was sitting out in the lobby and I'm listening to it and I'm fuming. I'm like, oh, I'd like to tell this guy that, or why aren't they saying this? And then I'm like, I own this place and I'm sitting right in there. So I just burst in and said, I've had it. I need to address this shit with this guy.
That was the second time because you had him on your show too.
I did I?
Yes, you did. And you laid into him and at that point as well.
They just don't. They can't debate their point because it's undebatable. They got nothing. Yes. Yes, I got dragged into the flat earth rabbit hole. These people are serious. And, enough. But I think, yes.
In this very fun and challenging chess match. We've been working hard up here to install some critical spare equipment for the International Space Station.
What a simple game of chess like this can actually represent for our future.
So thanks to everyone for participating in our Earth versus Space chess match. Good luck trying to catch us though. We're going 17,500 miles an hour. That's speed chess like you've never seen before.
And thanks to the U.S. Chess Federation and NASA for sponsoring our game.
It's your move.
How about telling me the truth? You can't handle the truth!
Really?
You are much cooler than Joe. I know, but don't tell him. He can't handle the truth. That's a reference.
Enjoy. Do you want to know the truth? Do you want to know the truth? You can't handle the truth!
I must know the truth.
You want the truth?
I demand the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
So it's truth you want, is it?
Yes.
You want the truth? You want the truth? Well, I can't handle the truth.
What does that mean? It means he's lying. Again.
Because you can't handle the truth!
As long as I wear the claw, I make the plans.
Why can't I wear the claw?
You can't handle the claw. You wouldn't.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. I can handle the truth.
I need to know the truth.
You can't handle the truth!
By Kron, I want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
15% off all dental products. You want the tooth? You can't handle the tooth.
What are you gonna ask her for?
Leave me alone.
What are you gonna ask her for?
Will you stop?
What are you gonna ask her for? You want the truth?
I can't handle the truth.
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
Just tell him the truth.
I can't handle the truth.
Tough.
I want an apology.
I want the truth.
You can't handle the...
We want the truth.
You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. No truth handler, you.
Let me out of here! I wasn't read my rights! I'm out of order! You're out of order! You can't handle the truth!
Morning, Mr. Bunny.
Very hot now, and I do voice of flippin'. Excuse me?
Perhaps the stick boy.
Let him maroon. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Hey, Neil, what's...
So, excuse me. Well, right, so it's a branch of NASA, Columbia campus.
You have no, you would have no idea that this is a part of NASA.
We are not authorized to comment on that fact further.
Okay.
So what I've got here, could call him Chief Director of NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies in New York, Gavin Schmidt. Gavin, welcome to Star Talk.
To go back and see what was actually said. Your second point, which is a good one. Yep.
Unbelievable, that's what NASA are. Unbelievable, they've lied enough. Like the pictures of Earth from space were only there to deceive the human race. Never again will I believe your countdown from 10.
9. Ignition sequence start.
Unbelievable, that's what NASA are. The moon landings and space were oh so fake. That's why the flat earth is incredible and the ball earth is so terrible. We know the earth is flat and NASA, you're so crap. Unbelievable in every way. The more you fake space, the more we pay. That's why the flat earth is incredible and NASA is so terrible. We know the earth is flat. This is our world and we're taking it back. Unbelievable.
That stuff is flat. And then I showed examples of wide-angle lenses curving horizontal. I tweeted that.
You did.
But I don't want to be a spoiled, curmudgeon or anything. I just wanted to put, there's so much to actually be impressed with in the universe. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to be distracted by things that are not. That's all I'm trying to say.
If the world's round, why is a frozen pond flat? If the world's round, why is a frozen pond flat?
The government doesn't want you to know. The government doesn't want you to know this. The government doesn't want you to know. The government doesn't want you to know. Catch the flesh-eating virus. But if there were a virus out there,
I think it's true, actually possible that the world is flat.